Just one big joke. It's a fucked up world. Here we are in. I ain't going nowhere.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Reason Reborn, episode 34. Yeah, 34 is where we're at. Just plodding along here, and I'm of course here with the raging Cardiacsumo. Say what's up to the people as you clickety clack in your game.
What up, folks? You know what's really about to have me fucking raging? Is like there's something wrong with my graphics all of a sudden.
Are you serious? Your graphic card is shitting the bed?
No, I mean like I don't see the enemy or any of the characters or anything. I might be lagging, so that's hilarious.
Oh, I'm causing you to lag as soon as I start this. I'm sorry.
I don't see shit. And I find it unlikely that like none of the 24 people are around. Oh wait, maybe they're still dead. Anyway,
you just realize that, like, maybe I'm just in the sweet embrace of death right now.
But you know what? I guess this works out. I see like a ready check. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so it's a good thing that he is gaming because, of course, we just had E3. So we'll talk a little bit about E3 before we get into the games that Trump played politically. And we're going to try to keep it short tonight because I'm a worn out man. I've done literally about 12 to 14 hours of podcasting within the last 3 days. And I'm tired. And I got another 2 tomorrow, at least 2 tomorrow. Let me do a summation. Things I do to make content, I tell you. But you did get to catch up on E3. So what were your impressions of the stuff you saw?
Spider-Man looks fucking amazing. I'm a moron. Nintendo is the most recent thing I was watching. And the entire time I'm watching, I just thought, no offense to like you Nintendo guys out there, but I think I was texting this to Black. I was like, I feel like the Nintendo fan base is just this hyper biased set of nostalgia addicts. Like, as long as you give them the shit they expect, they'll act like you just gave them 20 pounds of gold or something for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. And this is someone who, I guess I have a bit of the Nintendo nostalgia in that I'm always waxing poetic about how they helped make me the gamer I am. But as a grown-ass man who sees reason, sometimes Nintendo just spend way too much time playing on your nostalgia, and you fall for it every time.
I mean, the thing is, though, like they can get away with it because I remember you were sending me stuff about Smash, and I just happened to already be watching it. And I remember, like, all the bullet points that people are interested in. I just thought these are not impressive at all. I don't know why these are getting so much noise. Things like you can use the
bite your tongue.
Like, yeah,
the most amazing thing in the world. It's the best thing that they've ever seen, and you, sir, are being a jerk face.
I love Smash. Like, I think it's really fucking fun. But when people talk about being able to use the GameCube controller, I just like, is that not you just admitting that in like 10 years at least
they haven't found anything else that works with Smash? That's how I framed it because, like, clearly this game is only at its best when you use a controller that's actually not a good controller.
I mean, think of it since the GameCube. We've had the Wii U, and now the Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you still want the GameCube controller? Is that not a bad sign?
I mean, they've come out with pro controllers that are similar to your standard quote-unquote gaming controllers. If you think about Microsoft, and they came out with a gamepad, which is something that has been a staple of gaming, period. Yet this gamepad even isn't acceptable enough. You have to have this, like, ancient piece of hardware in order to enjoy this one game. And it's just crazy that they have to keep making adapters so you guys can keep this controller alive. Not for the gaming ecosystem, but for one game. One game. One fucking game. That's crazy.
Let me ask you said they have a bunch of like pro controllers and shit. Is that because, like, the fact that we're still talking about the GameCube controller, is that because the pro controller is garbage, or is
no? I've been told
so
several times that pro controller is good. It's not as good as like the DS4 or the Xbox controller, you know. But they say it's solid. They're solid. They're solid controllers, you know. Like if you wanted to play like a game, like say you don't want to play Bayonetta 3 with the Joy-Cons, you can play it with that controller and you will enjoy yourself. You can play Zelda. I heard Zelda plays really good on that controller. Even though some things are implemented in the Joy-Cons, Zelda plays really, really good, I've heard.
So why can't we move on?
Because
this one.
It's like, why can't you just say if you want the optimum way of playing this, you can play with this controller and then show, look how easy it is to play with this controller and let people move the fuck on. But it's like, again, it's the nostalgia thing. No, this is the proper way because Smash can't be played unless it's played like it was originally played properly. Even though it wasn't originally played like that. I just thought about it. It was on N64. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, I guess you could argue that maybe the most recent controller people had that they liked was the GameCube one, but it's like, that's not really an excuse. Like every other company can just replace their controllers with better.
Iterated. Everybody has iterated on their controller and made it better. Again, DS4, the DualShock 4 is the best controller PlayStation ever made. Xbox One controller is the best controller Microsoft's ever made. They get better.
Yeah, I remember when the 360 generation came around, it was like they were hyping up the ergonomics of it, and it actually did feel.
No, that controller feels great.
It feels great. I first heard them say that, I'm like, you guys are so full of shit. And then I held it in my hand, like, wow.
Yeah, I know. I kept saying that the first time I was like, yo, this is actually cool.
But Nintendo can get away with just, I don't even want to say being good, like just being kind of, they can get away with shit like nobody else would be able to get away with. I guess is the way to put it.
Which is fine because, like I was saying to Prod, their people tend to exist within their own ecosystem anyway, so it's fine for them. It's like anybody outside who's not like just totally bought in with Nintendo. For us, it's retarded, but for their community, it's fine by them. You know what I mean?
I tend to say that it's hypocritical, but it's like, I remember we were having this conversation about like, Pokemon was another thing they showed, and before I say anything negative about it, it looked fucking gorgeous. But like, when I saw that shit, I'm like, so same Pokemon, different graphics? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, some Pokemon shit.
But I definitely remember when people were saying other games were getting super repetitive. I'm like, has Pokemon not been the same for like 30 fucking years? And nobody says anything about it.
Yeah, and again, and every other game seems to get the stigma of you're repetitive, whatever, blah blah blah. It's the same shit. I mean, look at how people are trouncing Call of Duty. Nobody says that about Mario or anything else for Nintendo.
I'm watching this shit and I'm like, it actually does look gorgeous. The towns look gorgeous, but I'm just looking at this dude like, all right, you got your Pokemon, you're doing a battle. You went to the fucking Pokemon Center, all that shit. I'm like, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's like
over,
Pokemon
decade after decade. But it gets a pass because it's a Nintendo thing. Either you hate repetitiveness or you don't. But like, be consistent about it.
And now they Pokemoned it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, and I'm sure it's fun.
I like that about Nintendo, though, is that they can make their people happy.
I guess
it's cool. It's like they know their audience. They're getting slightly better at drawing in other people with like other stuff, but they know who they need, where their bread is buttered, basically. So,
there's nothing wrong with a company. Fuck me. There's nothing wrong with a company like, giving a shit about what its fans want. But I guess my criticism is more for the fans than Nintendo. Like, I don't know, I hate to sound like a dick about it, but every time I look at the Nintendo shit, I'm like, when are you guys gonna grow the fuck up already? Not grow up as in like it's immature. Grow up as in like.
Yeah, I think that's always been the argument against Nintendo. It's like, you know, you can still have your stuff, but can't you do something? Can't you modernize as well? Like, I never, like, I've said this all the time. I'm not saying Nintendo needs to kill their old stuff, but it would be nice to see something new and refreshing in a different style than what you do. Again, and I hate doing this. People probably hate hearing me say this when I talk about games. But Sony is a good example of how you can do a diverse wealth of type games but still have your own identity as well.
Just look at, you know, we get Smash now. What's one of the new characters? The Inkling from I was about to say Squidbillies, Splatoon.
Squidbillies, oh my god!
But that is a newer IP. Look how big it is. Like, look how much people dig that shit. That's not like one of the ones they had back in the 90s or something.
Yeah.
That game is one of the ones that shows that Nintendo can have new shit that is in their wheelhouse, and people will dig it. That game sold a fucking lot.
But it didn't it's not gonna outsell Pokemon. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're probably thinking. Like, we know, like I think they know. Again, they know what their bread is about. They know they're guaranteed huge success if they do a Mario game, if they do a Zelda game, if they do a Pokemon game, especially. So it's funny because they have this unique position where, like, as of now, Microsoft kind of gets lambasted for just being Halo, Forza, Gears, and Fable. Yeah. Whereas Nintendo comfortably sits in their position for just being like Mario, Link, and Pokemon for the most part, because Nintendo has a ton of properties. That's the funny thing about Nintendo is they have a ton of properties.
No,
most of their games seem to exist either specifically within those three things or something that's around those worlds. Like, you know, Smash was a Super Mario Brothers concept. It's a Super Mario concept that blew the fuck up. Donkey Kong, same thing.
Like a few of their games, like even the few they have, a lot of them are still based around Mario or Pokemon. Like you have Smash, Kart, and like every once in a while, like a new Mario game, like Galaxy or some shit. All three of those are Mario games still. Yeah, so,
like Mario is the son, with Zelda happening to be like Zelda and Pokemon happen to be the other two things, because you don't get a lot of outside world of Zelda stuff either.
I can understand Zelda being like, you know, gotten, because I'm assuming, at least I never really played it, but I assume it's at least a new like story. Maybe that's a bad assumption, but like, it's something.
Yeah, that's a great assumption, because I will say this: Zelda is the only thing that. Well, no, it's not the only thing, but Zelda's always new. They don't connect. Zelda has never connected. It's weird how that's the thing that's weird about Link. As much as I love Link, it's weird how you always like. He's kind of like Doctor Who without any continuity. He always fucking reboots. He always respawns like to a different Link. It's never
really,
huh? No, seriously. You have
I never really
Link.
played them, so.
If you look at them, look at the different Links. They're all different Links that don't exist within like the same world as each other. It's like it's like looking at, you know, the Flash universe. it's serious. It is like that's the best connection. It's the Flash universe. You know that where you know all these Flashes exist in different continuums of time, and we just continue to jump to a different continuum.
Makes sense. I put that out because I remember, what is it called? Smash. They were like 64? Whatever number of characters they have, because they're having all of the characters. And I thought, so? Like, it's an impressive, like, number. I don't know. Like, people who play Smash more than me, I guess you can tell me why that's so appealing. Because, like, I main Captain Falcon because I'm fucking amazing. But like whenever I play a new iteration of Smash, I'm never really missing any of the people that are gone or not. It doesn't fucking bother me, at least. So like, it's nice that you have all of them, but
yeah, Nintendo has always been like, I'm happy for you guys, even though I think that you're kind of out of your minds.
I look at them with a very curious look. I guess I'm always just like, if only you could explain to me the emotions you're having right now. Explain to me why you will buy the same DS with different skins over and over again. You know, like even the Smash is not like a radically different game. I'm sure there's different items and a couple new characters and all that shit. But like,
Where's Paul George always showing up at games?
like a Mortal Kombat, right? Like, it's always going to be Mortal Kombat in general, but it has a story in the background a lot of times. So it's at least new-ish on some level. There's some reason to buy the new one, right? I'm sure a lot of Nintendo fans are just freaking out. Like, of course there's reason to buy the new Smash. Is there? Because I'm looking at that, I'm like, if I had the Wii and Smash, like I probably wouldn't bother to replace it still. That's just me, unless they have like, I heard Strix talking about online multiplayer. I still don't know what the deal is there, but point is, Nintendo fuckers are weird. Spider-Man has got me on that.
Yeah, and it's funny because this is like the first console that Nintendo's really putting some effort behind multiplayer, which is hilarious. They're trying to put some. Ooh, I'm watching the Fortnite thing, and apparently there's some package that you can win, a bunch of shit that you can use.
What's this new game, Fortnite?
I seriously find it disturbing that you keep saying this about Fortnite. Sir, you bother me that you don't really know what Fortnite is.
I know what Fortnite is. I just think it's funny we're like talking about it being on Nintendo. I guess I just don't personally think it's that big.
Yeah, and it's funny. If you listen to our Nintendo conference, apologies, because me and like Eurostrix go off on a tangent that it's kind of based on Nintendo and Fortnite, but goes off the rail into a like why we should be mad at Sony and why we shouldn't be mad at Sony because
I was listening. That was
yeah.
I was trying to catch up on some new stuff while you were doing that, but I was like, this conversation is going like way up. I don't feel like this was the original conversation.
No, it wasn't. But it ended up going there. And it was like funny because that's a debate I have a hard time dealing with people when they try to frame that. I hate when you do that. But I understand why people do that. I still do, even though.
I haven't caught up on the Ubisoft shit yet. Now that I think about it,
showed the Division 2 gameplay. They showed that Skull and Bones game.
Oh yes, I did. I must be thinking of somebody else because I remember saying
probably Square because Square did a 20-minute conference.
Yeah, probably. I remember thinking the Division 2 thing.
Yeah, basically,
Shatter was.
Did you see the It's funny because you're playing Final Fantasy 14 right now. Did you see the news for that?
There's like a crossover between them and Monster Hunter
and World. The new expansion.
I didn't see the expansion.
Okay, so that's probably what you missed because that was a part of their 20-minute thing where they announced. It starts with the I, and I can't remember but there's a new expansion coming.
Great.
And then after that, they showed the crossover event's going to happen as well. So, but no, the main thing with 14 is you're getting more content for that. So yeah, and then they showed some Tomb Raider stuff and
Gear is going to be out of date again.
Yeah, you get Gears 5 plus you get Funko Pop Gears on your phone.
Gears 5.
I kind of want a Funko Pop Gears on console.
What's that little cooking game Nintendo was showing? It's like a sequel to
Overcooked. Actually, Overcooked is actually a very popular PC game. The original one.
I don't know what to think about it, but like it just looked cute. I don't know. It's a hit, and that's why they're bringing it. It's a hit game. Seriously, you laugh. It fits with their style, I guess. There's nothing wrong with it. When they showed it, I was like, what the fuck is this? I mean, this is some Nintendo ass shit, I guess. But like,
but no, it was a hit on PC, and now they're bringing it to Switch too.
Has there been any VR news?
Just the small stuff. Like during Sony, not during Sony, but during Ubisoft, Elijah Woods announced that his studio is making a VR.
Who's studio?
Elijah Woods, Frodo is making a VR game that's a psychological thriller where you play as a child getting like the shit scared out of him by stuff. Called Transgerence.
Well, why does Frodo have a game studio though?
I don't know because Joseph Gordon-Levitt has a creative studio in which in Beyond Good and Evil 2 you'll be able to stuff that you submit that they select, it will be in the world. So what you listen to on the radio will play in the game. Video commercials or spots that you see on the TVs in the world will play in the game.
Creepy. But
and they would randomly change to whatever was selected for that week.
I'm stuck on the idea that Frodo has a game studio, but I'll try to let it go. I wasn't expecting to hear a lot of VR stuff, but I was hoping. Just me.
I'm looking up the name now, but yeah, no. Transference is the name of it. It's like I said, it's a VR game where they're going into the mind of a kid and they're just freaking him the fuck out.
But it's a full game.
Yeah, it look well. Put it this way, it looks like it's in the vein of what's that game? That's horror game. Name a good horror game on PC.
I don't play horror games at all.
Okay,
it's not my shit.
So you're not gonna you're not helping me here because it's.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm glad Frodo's doing his thing, but I'm probably not going to play that game.
Like, think Amnesia, Outlast, stuff like that, where not necessarily. Although take Outlast out, I guess Amnesia is better, where there's not necessarily any combat, but you interact with the world and you try to solve a mystery. Like you're kind of solving a mystery within a horror thriller setting. You're trying to like survive this. It's like survival thing. Like Soma is probably a really good one to compare. Stuff like that. It's in that breath. So
it's not gonna be for me.
Yeah,
I can't handle that shit. My heart can't take it. And I can't imagine doing it in VR, especially.
Right.
I'm good. I want to live.
But yeah, if you see the trailer, you'll see what I mean. Because you're like, yo, they're gonna do this to this little kid. Because you clearly see the character's kind of scared, and the person is trying to push him to do this stuff. I'm like, you're mean.
Yeah, I'm not about
you're mean. but yeah, that's what you missed for Ubisoft. You missed some dude come out in the Super Dave outfit and fall through a table just to announce that there's a new Trials game.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, you like Trials. The Crew 2, the beta is open now on PC if you want to play it.
There's nothing wrong with Trials or anything.
The whole presentation of him falling to the table, that was some asinine shit. But no, like I said, you got the Crew 2 beta that's out now. That you can sign up for the Division 2 beta as well.
That chatter is the most robotic shit I've heard in my life.
Yeah, it was dumb.
When I was talking to you, I'm like, I wasn't kidding when I said the chatter between the players was so fucking robotic and generic that I literally did not realize I was listening to real humans until one of them mentioned something about like leveling up or something. I just thought it was regular character chatter until she said that. I'm like, what the? These are people? Real people? No, they're not. And even then, I was like, maybe they're just like breaking the fourth wall. Like they're just like self-aware.
No, it was very offensive. It definitely was very offensive.
I'm sorry. I know you guys.
I think Ubisoft showed a game, Star shit. I forgot what it is, but apparently they're going to put Star Fox in their new space game. And then they brought Miyamoto out to give him a statue. It was cute.
But I guess.
And then there's new DLCs for the Rabbids game. They're putting Donkey Kong. They're putting Rabbit Donkey Kong in his world in there.
Nintendo can get away with fucking anything. Rabbids? Seriously?
Yeah. You never
We're
seen
still
the rabbit
talking
version?
about rabbits?
Yeah, you never seen the rabbit version of Mario in that game? You know it's a real time strategy game. That's the funny part.
But we're still talking about rabbits.
Yeah, you've seen Rabbit Peach and Rabbit Mario, right?
Yes, but like
Yeah, you like Rabbit Peach
it
and Rabbit.
didn't come out like last year.
Yeah, it did.
Did it? Oh, I'm thinking of.
No, this is
I'm thinking of the original.
no, this ain't the original Rabbits, but this is that Mario game where they like had
Yeah,
Mario and
those
Rabbits.
fucking rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, Nintendo can get away with fucking anything, and I guess I gotta respect it on some level.
Yeah, like Rabbit Donkey Kong is ridiculous. It's like fucking like steroid jacked rabbit.
And make no mistake, anybody out there, I love Nintendo. I grew up on that
That's
shit.
the thing. Nobody hates Nintendo. We're just not like they just weird us out.
I love them, and their games are usually solid and fun and all that shit. It's just,
it's just like you kind of side eye.
if I'm being an objective adult, I can't just like let some of that shit slide. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's the reasonable position most of us take on Nintendo.
My nostalgia can only take me so far. I'm sorry. That's it. And of course, highlight of the E3, Kojima's masterpiece.
You're intentionally baiting me, and I don't appreciate that. You're not bait me into a rant. So.
I'm just saying.
On a side note, Samoa Joe's crazy. He just fucking like harassed he just harassed the fucking ref and lost to Rusev because of it.
Well, I mean, if the ref is the Miz, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I agree.
But Samoa Joe, since we haven't talked about wrestling, I'm just gonna say one thing about Samoa Joe. He is the fucking greatest. It was with Big E. I think it was last week. He gave him that like in the corner Uranagi or whatever. Did you hear him? He's like, sit your big ass down.
Yeah, I love when he does that. I love when he does that because he literally just fucks me.
I just went
Wait, why is Rusev going for the briefcase? Sir, this ain't official. Sir.
Why do any of them do it all the time forever? They always do that shit. I guess to prove a point, which always seems stupid to me, but whatever. But yeah, Joe is a treasure. Sit your big ass.
Pointing at the WWE at the WrestleMania sign and the whole looking up at the briefcase or climbing to the briefcase thing before it's even a real thing is just so overused. WWE.
It's also just kind of stupid.
Of course, she's gonna hit you with skull crushing finale because the Miz is a dick. Anyway, but what were you saying about Kojima? Oh yes, that trash. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. If you like that shit and you're
explain. That's all I want.
Good for you, but like you need to explain to me why. Because at this point, it's because
there's just so much. I just like if you're really hyped, I'm not trying to shit on your hype. Bring me into your hype. I want to understand. I want to be excited for a game too. I just want to know.
I find it stupid that this guy just grabbed his briefcase just to show this and then hook it back up because they can just put it back up there because you're not supposed to do that. You did. But anyway, but yeah, no, the Kojima thing. I've had my rant. I've said my piece even before this. I'm not gonna lose my shit again because I'm just too. No.
I wasn't baiting you, sir. Maybe I'm just genuinely interested.
Maybe then I will apologize and just say what it really is. It triggers me. It triggers the fuck out of me. Like I know people like to joke that I get triggered at different things. This ain't one of those jokes. This is my trigger.
Yeah, yes. I guess I can't even pretend that I'm hyped because I guess you caught me on the show last week freaking out about it. And it wasn't a good freak out when I was watching that trailer. It is genuinely mentally disturbing to me. And yet, it is still a lot better than what I see in the government.
Yeah, that's a good segue. Good way of segueing out of did they have pancakes in this thing?
Man, shut up.
Huh? There were pancakes in the briefcase. They're pancakes in the briefcase. The pancake thing is. Oh, and there, do you see this? Do you see Woods and Kofi?
Somebody put these Negroes in prison, please.
And just think, now after this, they're gonna get on a plane and head to E3 to battle the Elite in Street Fighter.
What is
this out of control? They're out of control.
We just gonna act like we're not wearing the same shirt. We're just gonna act like there's two men in the same shirt.
They're out of control. They're out of control.
I don't want to be in this world anymore. I can only take so much. Congratulations to Kenny Omega for capturing the IWGP heavyweight title, by the way. Just have to throw that out there. Win over on that Okada guy.
Yeah.
Still around?
Yeah. Okay. So let's transition to what you guys come to watch this show for, and that's the political
women's wrestling.
Becky
Lynch is gonna win. That's all. Political stuff. Sorry.
Sure. By the way, they just made me realize how stupid Jeff Hardy was in that ladder match.
That ladder match.
Yeah, the one they're showing like last year's WrestleMania. Like out of all the things, all you had to do is just grab the title. You could have jumped up and grabbed the title. That would have been a cool thing.
This isn't the first time he's done that shit.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Let me stop watching wrestling and focus. So, 3 big events happened that kind of revolve around the Trump administration. I'm sure there's more stuff, but unfortunately, I haven't been on tabs as I usually am, people, because E3 has consumed my life, and I've been working on that. So, apology if I missed anything big. Feel free in the comments to comment on what your big news story was, politically or socially, as because there's always stuff going on in this world of Trump. But the biggest things were first the G7.
G6+1.
Sure. The G7 conference, because it is more G6+1 because
that's what I make it sound like a joke, but that is one of the phrases.
No, it is not a joke because it's funny, in the 44th G7, the 45th president showed his ass to the world and essentially furthered the United States into a position where, yes, in a world that's going more global and more unified, we are becoming the outlier that nobody wants to deal with. And everyone is more than happy to figure out a way to drop. He got into a shouting match with True Joe. He straight up just like had a picture where he has his arms crossed like a child as Merkel is trying to reason with this guy, and he's not listening. Marcone is sitting losing his shit, trying to figure out what the fuck this man is doing. He literally set the world on fire, especially when he made the comments about like how Obama is to blame for Russia being kicked out and that Russia needs to be back in.
Yeah. But he said that shit.
First of all,
Obama line was amazing because I think it was like a reporter, because I'm sorry, there's just so much to unpack here. I think we should go back to the beginning, like before we even hit the G7.
He got into the spouting match with Trudeau over the tariffs. So
yes,
that was
the imposed tariffs on what was it, steel and what? Fuck. What are the tariffs on?
I forget exactly what it was, but steel was the big thing, and that's the thing that everybody's really upset about because it is a huge export for Canada. I mean, hell, that treasured pipeline that Trump is getting built is made from Canadian steel.
We're talking, of course, about Prime Minister Canada, Justin Trudeau, in case anybody's missing that we impose sanctions
Prime
upon.
Minister McDreamy.
He's a handsome motherfucker.
He's charming too.
Yeah.
He's a charming man. He's very cool.
He's easy to hate.
It's funny because in a world where we make fun of Canada for being a polar opposite, like being a bizarro America, the bizarro America has the best of everything. It's like, as much as we try to joke, it's like, but yeah, we joke. You got it, like, you have health care for everybody, low crime rates,
leader.
Yeah, environmental, like, friendly, eco-friendly policies, a government that encourages people to migrate to, and like, you're funny, and your prime minister is a great guy. You're funny. That's America. That's what we do.
Those are largely, maybe not the healthcare thing per se, but a lot of those are the values we have espoused for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about, Western ideologies, freedom, and all this stuff, it is America that largely championed that shit in the world in the first place. We inspire a lot of other nations, so it is depressingly funny to watch the other countries do what America, I don't want to say taught them to do, but we were one of the major forces driving that movement throughout the world. Oh, wow. I just unconsciously said were instead of are, and that really depressed me.
Yeah. And then he, of course, continually railed on how America's getting screwed in these trade deals, and we're going to impose the tariffs, and we're going to change these deals. We're going to force these countries to do all these things. And, of course, the countries snapped back with their own tariffs and was like, and they boldly told him, "You're stupid for this trade war."
Yes.
To which I feel like that folded arms picture is very apropos to that attitude, because you have in that picture everybody who's trying to talk reason and sense speaking to this man who is like the child he is.
That's the perfect thumbnail for this episode, by the way. Unless you want to make it something about gaming, but if it's not a gaming thumbnail, it should definitely be that picture, just so people know exactly, because it is a very
it's going to be the
picture.
That's going to be the picture that I'm using for our
It's a very revealing thumbnail. I don't know if you touched on it. The reasoning behind imposing these tariffs on Canada. I don't know if you touched on it before.
No, I don't think I did.
Seemingly, it was that Canada poses a national security threat, which is what I think they needed to argue in order to be able to do it the way they did. To which Justin Trudeau's like, pretty much, "Are you fucking serious, dog?" He didn't say those exact words, but he may as well have, right? Like, they find it fairly laughable that we, America, made the argument that they are a national security risk when they're probably our closest allies in general, not just like geographically or whatever, but Canada has been an ally to America for what? Yeah, the history, what has it been, 150 years or so?
Yeah.
Like, it's maybe 200. Like, it's been a very long time that we've been friendly ally people. I think their reasoning when, pressed, like, how are they a security risk? I guess it was because if for some reason America needed to fucking produce a bunch of steel or something, we might not be able to rely on them to help. Maybe you can explain it better than me. I just didn't find sense in the argument that they were trying to establish to make Canada seem like a national security threat so that they could impose these not sanctions.
Honestly, if there's any security threat, it's us, because they have to worry about how many of us are willingly trying to get across that border to get away from this madman. That's a security threat, if anything.
I mean, it was fairly depressing to watch that whole thing unfold, and of course, Canada, like you said, they slapped us back with their own stuff. in an effort to be equal with the economic strike there. Kind of balanced that shit out, and he just said, it's insulting for you to call us a security threat, which I don't know if you agree with them. I do. I think it's extremely insulting because they haven't really done anything.
Enormously threatening. I mean, insulting to say that there's such a threatening thing. Like, again, if there's the only threat they have is that they're a reasonable, sensible country with ideology that Trump I hate to use that word, but that trumps everything that you stand for, and that a lot of Americans admire over what you are, and that's where they're a threat. There's a threat to the national security of his ego. That's it. That is all it is.
Yeah, I just could never wrap my head around that. And again, all of this happened. It must have happened before the G7 summit even started. So going in, things are pretty tense as we enter the G7 summit at this point. This whole brouhaha was not even part of the G7. It just happened going in. And then I think this might have been before too, because I know I said we were trying to I'm sorry, there's just so much to unpack here. I wanted to try to go in some kind of order to make sense of my own head here. He said some shit about Russia that raised the entire world's eyebrow. As we walked into this, he said Russia should be invited back into the G7 and make it the G8 again. For you guys that don't know, this used to be the G8, but Russia got kicked out because they were not being very fucking nice. They, annexed Crimea, which is a huge fucking problem.
Real quick before you keep going.
Sure.
Dick Shinsei is awesome. Did you see what he just did?
I'm behind, so I'm sure I'm about to see.
Yeah. Dick Shinsei. Just. Gotta love Dick Shinsei. Anyway, continue, sir.
Dick Shinsuke for president.
Yes.
Oh my god. See, we got past the Canada thing. Yes, Trump, for some fucking reason, I've been waiting since he said that shit to ask you about this. I haven't even mentioned it on Twitter because I'm just curious. For some fucking reason, he just came seemingly out of nowhere and said we should invite Russia back in. It'd be an asset. Make it a G8 again. We have a world to run. We need Russia as part of this. It seemed completely unprovoked, and then he just took such a hard stance on it, which seemed odd considering a lot of people are accusing you of colluding with these motherfuckers, and then you're just unprovokedly backing them and supporting them and saying they should be invited back into this group, glossing over whatever war crimes they committed, which is the reason they are not in the group right now. Can you make sense of?
Yeah, it's they're out of the group because, like you said, the war crimes, the selling of weapons to certain factions that the G8 stood against, secretly doing that in some cases and being caught doing that without knowledge of the, and then going to the open stance that, we're going to do this crazy shit. Personal, in-country policies that people are in agreement with. Support of North Korea in some stages of the history of the G8. It's no, y'all suck.
It's not the G8 right now for a reason. It just he just made it sound like, I can't remember his exact words. He said something like
they didn't do nothing wrong. What y'all? They're nice people.
He said something like something's happened and now it's the G7. It's what the?
No, this ain't just something. And the thing that makes it even more appalling is we had just a skim on some of the news we got. You just got indictments down on another Russian. We just got another indictment. This happened. He said this within a day or two frame of Paul Manafort getting another indictment and another Russian getting indicted in the whole Russian investigation. So it's like your timing can't be worse. And this whole thing that you keep talking about is a witch hunt. You are trying to tell us that we should be nice to the people who we think have fucking fucked over our democracy. Yet you don't have any Russian collusion. You have no ties. There's nothing you wouldn't ever. There's nothing between you and Russia. But you think they're good guys and they should be back in the summit.
That's part of the reason I wanted to ask you, because I looked at him say that and I thought, even for the case, just for self-preservation, for his own reputation, for his own political gain, why the fuck would he do this? I mean, does being nice to Russia play well with his base? Because I just watched him say that in, like, my jaw dropped when I heard him say it. I just thought, but why? What is the point?
Yeah, it doesn't help him. It doesn't help us.
Because I think of him as like a selfish person. So like, if it helped him, if it played well with his base, I'd be like, I get that. But I'm like, I can't imagine this plays all that well with his base. So what is the point? And again, maybe I missed something in the news cycle. It just seemed unprovoked. He just came out of nowhere during a talk one day and said, we should invite them back. I don't think anybody asked him whether we should do that, but he just, I don't know. I was hoping for an explanation, sir, because I just didn't understand.
There is no explanation. There is no discernible explanation as to why this is a positive thing. Just like something we're going to get into later, the things that he said made no sense.
Yes. So this point,
yeah.
I think
by the way, as he says this, he also snubs the G7 by showing up late. He didn't show it at the beginning of it. By the way, he showed up a day late.
Why?
Because he's a dick.
Okay.
There's no real reason. There wasn't nothing he was committed to.
Good stuff. I think at this point we are entering G7 times. I guess this must have been at the point at which Trudeau made that like statement that really pissed him off.
Yeah, it was.
Should I see what the fuck did he say? I guess they signed some sort of I don't know, you have to explain. I can't remember the exact details. I'm overwhelmed by that news.
Let me pull it up again. What did he say? Because it was comments on Trump with a lot of money. Yeah, we know about that. Oh, he just said this. That's funny. Something new.
What was it?
Apparently, President Trump is angry that Justin Trudeau for the perceived slight during the speech by Canada during G7. Here, what is it that he said in the speech that brings up? Because apparently Trump just said something of, again, this is Trump speak because he just said this today, in reference to Trudeau's comment. Trudeau said after the G7 meeting that aluminum and steel tariffs imposed by the U.S. and Canada were an insult, and that Canadians are polite, we're reasonable. We also will not be pushed around. No, it was something he said kind of personal, and I can't remember what it was. Again, forgive me for not remembering what that comment was.
I can't remember it exactly either, but it wasn't like scathing or anything either. It was, his entire statement was fairly calm, as I recall it. So
no, it was calm. It was a good dig, but it was calm. It wasn't.
But I guess Trump's argument was like, you know, face to face, you're all friendly, but I guess when I'm not there in front of other people or whatever, you're talking all this shit. He called it like a weak move or something like that. And I just thought, what are we doing right now? Why are we about to go to war with Canada?
Yeah. But no, Trump now is basically saying that this is going to cost Canada money because he, to quote this statement that I saw, and again, it's such a like dumb statement. When I got out of the plane, I think Justin probably didn't know that Air Force One has about 20 TVs, and I see the television. And he's giving a news conference about how he will not be pushed around by the United States. And I say, push him around. We just shook hands. It was very friendly. No, I have a good relationship with Justin Trudeau. I really did. Other than he had a news conference that he had because he assumed I was in an airplane and I wasn't watching. He learned. That's going to cost a lot of money for Canada. He learned. You can't do that. You can't do that. Okay, so let's go to the alliteration first. How do you learn something that you haven't done to that person? He kept saying that he learned, but he's going to see what's going to happen because he learned. What did he learn? You didn't do it yet. Second of all, you keep saying we have a good relationship, but then we did have a good relationship. Which one is it, sir? I'm going to need you to make up your mind. And then the fact that you have 20 TVs and you're watching those 20 TVs, a lot about you as a person.
I think it's fine.
No.
The second part.
All that stuff, all that TV. You should be... No. If you're having meetings, discussing policies, or just relaxing, if you were somebody who actually worked for a living.
I assume what I meant was on Air Force One, at least. I'm sure there's a reason to have that shit. But
no, I understand why they have it, but you don't need to tell nobody. Nobody cares. Who cares? This way.
That second point reminded me of yet another thing about this whole thing I miss is that I think some reporter asked him about his relationship with the other countries in the G7, and he said if he had to rate it on like the scale of 1 to 10 or something, he'd rate it a 10, which was the most mind-bogglingly false thing he could have said. Because note, at the point where he said that, he's already like in this shit with Trudeau. He's never really had like much with Angela Merkel or whatever. I don't feel like I keep fucking up her name. Whatever. The German
Merkel.
Angela Merkel, yes, sorry.
Angela Merkel.
The German lady.
She's not Meghan Markle.
Yep, I fucked up.
It's fine.
They can kill me.
No, but they're close. At least that alliteration makes sense.
Yes. But like when he said his relationship with them is a 10, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. He is on very not good terms with these people, with these countries in particular, at all. And yet, when pressed, he's just like, yeah, it's all great. No, it's not. And we all know it's not. We're watching them talk about you. We see what they said. They're not being secretive about it. They're on TV saying that this shit with you is a problem. What are you talking about? And you, in turn, are talking shit about them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's like if I just like walked up and stabbed a guy and said that was my best friend and then walked away.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I fucked your wife. We're still cool, right?
I mean, just the fucking boldness of these lies that we all know aren't true. It's not just like we know they're not true because we watch the news. We can tell they're not true just by listening to you because you are the one talking all this shit in the first place. Like even your supporters must know just based on the way you talk that statement wasn't true. They could literally watch no news. They could like not even Fox. They could literally just listen to you talk and they would know what you just said is false.
Yeah.
The boldness of that shit. Which goes to what you were just saying with Trudeau. The fact that he could say that we had to have whatever a good relationship where we all know they don't. I don't know. It is looking into the mind of a person who does not care about reality, I guess. It's the only way I can possibly explain it.
Yeah.
And that picture is amazing with him just with his little smirk while all the other leaders of the world, like actual leaders of the world. I wonder if that's what it's like to just have like a belligerent toddler in the house. Like if you're a parent
probably.
and your kid is just like having an attitude one day and you're just like the adult standing over them and they're like la 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 la.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. That's probably right on the nose.
No, I rephrase. It's like having somebody else's child be belligerent. Because if they were your child, you could do something about it.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. Because yeah, they have to deal with someone else's child, and there's no parent around to discipline them. So it's like if I slap you, I look like I'm wrong. But his parents aren't doing anything, so somebody needs to do something. Somebody come get your kid. That's our president. He's that kid that not even his parents want to claim.
Okay, no, this wasn't part of the G7. I was about to mention the Korea thing.
Oh no, I mean because that's the next event that we're going to slide into is Korea. So he leaves the G7 summit to go to the historical event. The United States president is meeting the Prime Minister of Korea, Kim Jong Un. Never happened before, so it's a great event. And you know, it's funny because I kind of didn't think about it in my whole like E3 madness. Somebody made a good point on E3 on CNN. That I said E3. This is why I need to get.
I'm sure they made the same point on E3.
Yeah, I know. That was in Sony's conference. But the fact that someone on CNN made the valid point that, hey, why wouldn't they do this? Look at the two people that are in this room right now. You have Donald Trump, who loves to be on stage. He loves the big moment. He loves to have the best photo ops in the world. This is a no-brainer for him. Flash to Kim Jong Un. He likes to have positive press. He may not be someone who shows up on TV all the time, but when he's going to be in the public eye, he needs it to be the most highest possibly rated moment in the world. He's going to put on a show to show you guys like, hey, it's okay to love me. I'm not as bad as you think. Think of me as great. Those are the two egos in the room that are coming together for this moment. It makes 100% sense that out of all the meetings, this is the meeting that would happen between leaders of these two countries, because these are two leaders that share a lot in common. And that is the key element they share in common, which is they both like to be loved and put on a show. There was nothing politically let me rephrase that. There's nothing positively put out there from a political aspect from this meeting, other than the meeting happened and maybe more will come from this.
They signed some kind of statement that I don't think really had much to it. I guess it was more symbolic, I guess. Would you agree with that? Because it didn't seem like...
Yeah, no, there was nothing to that statement itself.
I wouldn't call it an agreement on it.
There was weight that came from that, but again, it wasn't necessarily positive, and it wasn't necessarily it was more burdensome then it ended up being positive. But no, so that's what you got from this. You got a 45 meeting between these two in Hong Kong, with translators only. So
I thought it was
no
in
one
Singapore.
knows but those translators, huh?
I thought it was in Singapore.
Oh, it is, yeah, Singapore. Sorry. But it was only translators. No one in that, nobody but the translators who, on pain of death. I'm saying this as a literal thing because Kim may do the pain of death thing. Nobody but them knows exactly what went on and what was said. So if there are any leaks from this, then these people are in trouble because they're the only people who can leak it. But that's it. 45 minutes, nothing but translators. We don't know. It's just, it was like they met. That's it. They had a conversation.
And
that's
to be charitable, you could say that, well, even that's kind of arguable, that meeting is a good thing to establish some sort of more positive relationship. I say it's arguable because many people make the argument that we should not be meeting with him just yet because he hasn't really conceded anything. Like the argument is that leaders like Kim Jong Un want, what's the word? Not notoriety. Like they want to be, looked at as like a true leader in the world, established. They want credibility, I guess. And meeting with the American leader is one of those things that gives you true, like on the global stage, credibility as a global
yeah,
like
because
leader.
again, he can frame it, and a lot of people are framing this meeting as an endorsement by our president of this man.
So a lot of people are, I just said you could look at it as positive that we're having a more positive relationship with him, I guess, just to be charitable. But the argument has been made, and it's not a bad argument, that we shouldn't have met with him until he conceded like something, because this is like one of the things he really wants is to be legitimate as a leader in the world, and we're giving him that legitimacy for pretty much nothing. And I wouldn't count, the prisoners he released as that. Like that's not really.
But that happens all the time. It's not like he's the first person to get somebody out of North Korea.
Right.
Like diplomatic, release of prisoners happen all the time. They're negotiated 24/7 with all countries.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wasn't done for the sake of this. Like it wasn't part of any agreement. They just kind of did that.
Yeah, which reminds me, that was very offensive that Trump used the death of that guy who was released, Warmber, and said that it's because of him that this whole thing happened. No, it's not. You didn't set up a stipulation that unless he was released, I won't meet with you. No. So how is this because of him? And the family, of course, is livid that he did that. But like, what? Huh?
Yeah, that unsurprisingly happened. I mean, like I've said, he's a guy where everything has to be about him. Period. That's it. End of discussion. It's about Trump. Nothing more.
Yeah, to get back on track. So you had that, and this is the thing that was left that was kind of jolting, was that Trump made a comment that they're going to agree to denuclearize, and we will stop doing war games with South Korea. By the way, you know who didn't know about this?
South Korea. Maybe even America. I'm not sure if we knew.
The actual article headlines was confusion between South Korean President Moon and U.S. military officials over Trump's comment about ending war games. Nobody knew this. No one. And again, this is the problem. We only got a 45-minute meeting with no one in key positions to be able to discuss any policy, anything. So for all we know, Trump could, and he made the whole comment about now they'll be able to get great hotels if they get rid of their nuclear weapons, which again, what's it? We have some whose hotel chain are we giving a license to put chain? Oh, like, sir.
So, leading up to this meeting, a lot of people were very concerned that you wouldn't be able to trust Trump not to just agree to shit without really getting anything back. And you know, just like agreeing to shit willy-nilly with no strategy. And I was like, I could see him just like running his mouth and agreeing to some shit, but come on, somebody will stop him. He won't just do whatever the fuck he wants. And then I saw the news. He said, we're not doing the war games with South Korea anymore. You know, the training stuff America and South Korea, the joint training America and South Korea do with their militaries. Yeah, we're not doing that because it's, what was the word he used? Fuck. What did he call the training? Like his reason for not doing it anymore was that it was like not triggering. You know what I mean? Like it was upsetting to North Korea. Like it didn't look good.
Yeah, something like that.
It was like the same kind of wording North Korea uses, which was like creepy that he would do that, but sure.
Again, they share things in common.
But like, you know, to your point, nobody knew he was gonna fucking do this. He just does whatever the fuck he wants. And I don't even know if he understands that that's not okay. Or if he just doesn't care. Like,
yeah, because how this works is like, generally speaking, you and your advisors get together and come up with a game plan. Your advisors take it to their people and they work out the strategy and develop several scenarios and plans. And then you go through these scenarios, you know, these detailed scenarios and plans, and then you make a decision on the best option. But this guy, he makes the plan. He says, we're going to do this. Go. It's the equivalent of if you were a general who just went out and said, we're going to take this point and we're going to take it by 0800 hours. Make it happen. Sir, it's 0500. You're telling me in 3 hours I need to construct a plan and take the battlefield. Sir, what are you doing? So now all these people have to figure out, okay, if this is the plan, then how are we going to execute this? And like now we got to talk to our allies and deal with them because now you have another upset ally to deal with.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the motherfuckers who have to have these conversations when Trump just does this shit? Because that must be like the most awkward thing to talk about when the leader just unknowingly to everybody else makes a decision like that, and you have to get on the phone with South Korea and be like,
yeah, like you're the diplomatic, you're the people in the U.S. embassy in South Korea. First of all, you're the first people who are going to get contacted. You're not even the official people who would probably have to have the meetings, but you're going to get the first brunt of it. So if you're in the South Korean U.S. embassy, you gotta be like, are you shitting me? Our phone lines are going off the hook. What is going on?
Like, I can imagine that already being a stressful kind of job, but like when you see that shit on the news and then you hear the phone ring, you must be like shitting yourself.
Like,
oh my god. I feel super
I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get some Korean barbecue. I'm not dealing with this right now. No.
Oh my god.
But and then you're the State Department. What are your scramble like procedures now as the U.S. State Department? Like Pompeo, I know you've just been over there, but you're gonna have to go back pretty soon, sir, because it's some Lucy you have explaining to do.
And note, you know, part of the reason for doing that joint training is to keep North Korea in check. So like, it's not really. It is very understandable why South Korea will probably be very upset about that, not being, you know, talked to about this whole fucking thing. I wonder how Moon feels, because
Moon has to be like, are you shitting me? I feel really bad for him because when the whole Olympics thing went down and the discussions between them and their moments went down, he was the guy. He like Trump could try to walk that Nobel Prize thing. Moon was the one who was going to get that Nobel Prize. He had constructed and meticulously worked a situation where he could have wrested like decades of tension that his people have held and brought the United States in fold and lessened the world tension because of that.
Yeah,
because he truly cared to do so. And now, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know he's probably, I'm not saying he's doing it for legacy status, but
he's been the one working on all this.
But it's like, this is something that I could like have went to my grave saying, I did this great thing for a lot of people and I saved a lot of lives. I reunited a lot of families. I'm at peace with the job. With everything that I may have done wrong, I can at least say, hey, I helped the world, shape the world to be a better place. Now, all those like plans are slowly crumpling in front of him because of this jackass.
It must be very frustrating. I think of all, like you said, all the work he put into doing all this. I wonder, you know what? Better question. I wonder how his people feel about him after that. Because I don't know how they generally feel about American military. I assume there must be like a decent relationship there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was a very cordial relationship because, I mean, they are helping train and help facilitate some of the stuff, and they put them in a good place, you know?
Oh, my God. So until you said that, I didn't really think about the fact that American people probably didn't know. I assumed that South Korea didn't know because I'm like, there's no way.
No, U.S. military officials had no clue. The people who are running this, operating these things, who are controlling U.S. assets in this country. Like, again, you're the commanding officer of the, joint forces for the United States in Korea. And you hear this shit, and you're sitting in the office that's, I don't know, adjacent, if not near, the South Korean commanding officer. You have to be sitting there listening to those full footsteps. Like, at the time of this news, is like, am I really going to have this meeting now? Like, is this really happening?
I mean, I don't know what to even say to that. Like I said, high stress situations. But I just thought, like, when I thought about the fact that South Korea probably didn't know, and then I was like, okay, this is just Trump talking out of his ass again. Yeah, I had a moment where I was like, how are we going to walk this back? And then I was like, I guess we can't walk this back because we can't exactly make the president seem so flaky. Like, we can't just make him go back on his word all the time. So are we kind of like stuck with this fact now? Like, I didn't know what to think about that situation.
But he can't go back on his word because he does it. That's the problem. He throws these things out there. That's another thing about it. You never know if he's just getting the anthill stirred up for nothing. Like, if he's just kicking an anthill just to see the ants run out. Or if he legitimately does want something to happen. Because now you have, but again, these people in these positions, these are real people. These are real, like, leaders, people who understand politics of the situation and understand, like, the procedure of what you need to do to develop plans and policy. So they're going to have to, because he's the president, because he is the president, they have to seriously put assets to this now. Even if he just goes, psych, I changed my mind. They have to, because professionally speaking, that is what you have to and you should do.
Oh, yeah,
But if you really do care about what you're doing, you will do that.
So I was thinking, like, strategically, you can't just, I mean, you're kind of fucked because you can't just walk back anything he says because he is the president, and you can't afford to make him look bad because it is damaging to us if he looks bad. Like, he can't be trusted. Like, he's just this flaky motherfucker that he actually is. Like, you're in a rock and a hard place. You cannot just make him take back any dumb thing he says, which is probably what you see a lot of if you pay attention to the news. He'll just say some random shit, and then the government has to actually talk about it and deal with it for real because he's the president and he said it out loud.
Yeah.
So we are often in the situation where he says whatever he wants, and then we cannot ignore him. I mean, fuck. Just a few weeks ago, he said that there was spies in his campaign, and that wasn't ignored. It was investigated, right? So
yeah, you have anything that he says that has some type of political connection or policy or is can be considered a threat. Assets have to be put to this. Taxpayers' money has to be allocated, and manpower must be rallied to this because he might be just talking out his ass, but real professionals got to do what they got to do. It's like, God damn it. No.
That was the moment I just kind of realized the full implications of that. Even though I'd seen this issue happen a few times, but I was just like, man, he can.
You know what?
He can say what he wants. It's that you can't really stop him.
I wish I was good at Photoshop because I know what it would be actually the perfect picture for this. That LeBron James meme is perfect for this because I could put Trump's head because he literally did just J.R. Smith this. I know you don't know who J.R. Smith is, but have you ever seen the LeBron James meme from the NBA Finals?
Is that the one where he has like his hands up? Like,
yeah. Okay, for reference point, for those who don't know, during the first game of the NBA Finals, it was a tie game, and the Cleveland Cavaliers had a chance to go up. LeBron James' team. One guy missed the free throw, and they get a rebound, and they could have went back up and took the shot to win the game. But the player who got the rebound, J.R. Smith, grabbed it and dribbled out the remainder of the regulation time clock. And the game went to overtime, which eventually Cleveland lost. LeBron James was upset because the guy dribbled out the clock and then looks at everybody and it's like, oh, I thought we won. Yeah. That's why that picture of him doing the arms out is so fucking hilarious because that's him looking at that dude, pointing at the spot, like, what were you doing right there just then? That's what LeBron James was doing. He's like, what the fuck were you doing? Did you not see what was going on? And this guy is with the clueless face looking at LeBron like, oh, I fucked up. So in this situation, it would be apropos for me to put fucking Moon's head on LeBron and put Trump's head on J.R. Smith because this is exactly how Trump does his job. He does stuff without situational awareness and incenses everybody around him who have to deal with his stupidity. It's the perfect fucking meme for this. And I wish I was good at Photoshop because I would so fucking do that shit. And if anybody listening is good at Photoshop, please do that for me and tweet it to me. And I will keep that and use that as my fucking... I will change from Black Panther to that as my Twitter profile pic. I swear to God, if you could do that for me, I will do that for you.
I would be genuinely surprised if somebody hasn't already done that.
If you know what, you don't have to do it yourself. Even I'll put that caveat out too. If you can find something with Trump and someone else that he's pissed off in that way, it doesn't even have to be Moon. I just need to see Trump and somebody he's pissed off in his presidency, which ain't hard to find.
Just be like the American flag standing there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a...
Yeah, have J.R. Smith hold the American flag. That would even make it better.
I think all of this stuff happened since the last podcast. I don't think any of this is
all of the stuff I mentioned was kicked off within the week that we last recorded.
Yes.
That's how fucking nuts this guy is.
Somebody made the point you know, when you look at the way he's talking about our allies and then dealing with our enemies, their argument was Trump likes this sort of one-on-one deal with countries. He doesn't want, you know, this like multilateral bunch of countries working together kind of thing. He wants one-on-one relationships, which does sound like the kind of thing in his wheelhouse, I guess. But I say wheelhouse not because he's good, just like
I think the reason why it's in his wheelhouse because his attention span is easy. And then when you're usually the person on the opposite side of this like person that you're speaking with, it's a lot easier for you to play it off with one person than like that picture that we're going to use of him with this arm fold. He doesn't feel as defensive because that picture's again can be framed as he really does that because he has nothing really to say. So he needs to act like he doesn't care because he really has no defense other than looking on defiantly, like giving the I don't care because he can't say anything else. He can't make a legitimate argument as to why what he's doing makes sense. So he has to sit arms folded and go la la la, I'm not listening, or I don't care. Because if he opens his mouth and tries to defend it, he's going to make himself look worse.
Sure. I'm sure part of it is also just the sense of achievement of who gets the credit. Because when you're just one of a group, you're just one of a group, right? But when you're in that one-on-one scenario, you get the credit for succeeding in doing something. I guess at the risk of sounding harsh, I think he just doesn't get enough tension if he's just one person of many. But if he's the leader who got shit done with North Korea, the leader who got shit done with Iran, the leader who blah, 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 that is different, I suppose. Fucking hell.
By the way, this women's match is crazy.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little ladder match. It's going to be better than the men's.
Yeah, it's actually showing like the stuff that they're doing is actually kind of a good preview.
In my mind, I want Naomi to win. She deserves it. I don't care. Joe wins the men's. Naomi wins the women's. Nobody cares about any of the other matches.
That's funny.
And it is an interesting argument to make sense of the reason he acts the way he acts with our allies versus our enemies. Because I think with our enemies, they want the same kind of shit too. They see themselves as the leader of the country, right? So like they're used to just being in control, being able to handle things in this one-on-one type of scenario. And you see it in the way Trump behaves all the time. That's why he can not get away with, but that's why he feels like it's okay to just say, yeah, we're gonna stop that whole war games training shit. Fuck that. I don't feel like it, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to ask anybody about it. I'm the president, right? So whatever. I'm gonna do it. Done.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly fancies himself in the same vein as those other leaders that we don't quite like. Somebody else's argument, but it makes sense to me about why he acts that way.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking fool.
And I know people are uncomfortable with the impeachment thing, but when I see shit like that, I'm like, you need to, if you're not going to impeach him, you need to do fucking something. Because he cannot just keep doing whatever the fuck he wants. That's not what a president is.
Side note, again, the looking up at the briefcase. People, stop. Although I like the fact that Oscar's not looking up at the briefcase. She's just looking at everybody like, yeah, I'm going to whip your ass.
I don't like it smiling.
Yeah. The smiling. Like, I'm about to kick all y'all fucking asses. I'm laughing. Like, she ain't even looking up.
No, her smile.
Oscar, you know how to do it. You're proper.
Her smile, it's fine because it's like a cocky smile. Like, I've seen other people's.
Yeah,
like
no,
for a second there, Naomi smiled. I'm like, why are you smiling, bro?
Yeah, no, her cocky smile is really, really good. No, Naomi's smile is like, oh, you're so adorable.
I remember she was cutting this promo last week with her husband or whatever. Or wherever it was, they were going into a match together, and her husband's like serious, and she's like smiling. I'm like, What are you doing?
It's because like she's just sitting there like, I know I'm fine, and you know I'm good in the ring. I'm the best.
I'm not about it, but that's something to look forward to outside of all the amazing things Trump's going to do. Is that we have Money in the Bank on Sunday, and I think NXT has a show on Saturday. So,
yo, we get Ricochet and fucking Velveteen Dream.
But that match is going to be nuts.
Let's go.
That match is going to be fantastic.
Yes, it is going to, especially since not only is Velveteen Dream good in the ring, but just his persona is just going to fucking kill it again.
I feel like I'm looking forward to his entrance more than I'm looking forward to most of Money in the Bank.
Yeah. What else is on the NXT card, by the way?
I think that Gargano Ciampa match is happening.
Oh, they're going at it again? Oh, shit.
I think Lars Sullivan is challenging for the title. And I guess Nikki Cross must be going for the women's title.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Which
makes you wonder, why is she up in WWE?
They're not ready for that.
Well, they pretty much are there. I mean, behind the scenes, quote, spoiler alert for all you people who read the wrestling news online. I only know because somebody told me, which I wish he hadn't. But they already been called up, so it's just a matter of when are they going to be on TV.
But is she there? Because I know Sanity.
That's the thing. Yeah, she's not. Clearly, she's not there yet because she's in the pay-per-view. So,
is this going to be her send-off? Lame.
It shouldn't, because like when you finally get a solo championship match, you lose and you go up to the main roster. Okay.
Yeah. And we haven't seen her in a while, so it's like,
yeah, I know.
Why don't you do more? Like, milk this a bit. I'm hyped. That's all good shit. I watched Dominion the other day. Dick Jericho is the best Jericho.
Yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be Dick Jericho.
Yeah, no. Jericho's the best. All right, take a Chicago 2 card, just really quick. I need to see this. So you got Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. Nice. Another street fight between Gargano and Ciampa. By the way, Dick Ciampa is the best. Between Dick Ciampa, Dick Shinsuke, I wish he was still Dick Asuka. Then you got who else? Of course, Samoa Joe, who you don't even have to put the dick in front of it. It's just Samoa Joe. That's how good Joe is. Just Samoa Joe. You don't even have to say that. And then Velveteen Dream, I'm loving that. Like all of these things. This is so great. Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Yeah. I feel like Nikki Cross is going to get hurt. Although, because she's crazy. And she don't know when to stop. Shayna Baszler will give her that work all day. Oh, my God. And Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. I like how they frame it. The king versus the prince.
Should be the main event.
I'm surprised they don't have a match for the North American title. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
But then they have the tag team match, the Undisputed Era versus Lorcan and Birch.
Yeah, those two are awesome.
Yeah.
I just love that punch you in the fucking mouth style they got.
Yeah, I know. They're bullies. But they're oddly enough, they're babyface bullies.
You see Oni like slap a dude in the mouth. Like,
yeah, they're babyface bullies. That's crazy. At least in this match, I guess.
We accept it because they're British or whatever.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of weird because it's kind of like, I hate to say it this way, but more enjoyable Wade Barrett. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's how I look at it. But yeah, they're cool. They're cool. But yeah, we get I wonder where, I guess Adam Cole is just going to be hanging out on I wish they would have him defend because it's so cool when the Undisputed Era is just involved in everything. Because they could be such dicks about the fact that we got all these belts right now.
I love the matches NXT can put together. It's not just because of all these indie guys. It's because their storylines are fucking consistent.
Yeah, they establish good storylines.
I mean, like, look at Sullivan. Like, I don't feel like he's the kind of guy that would get a title shot on the main roster, but they keep him strong enough for it to make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not something I was like looking forward to before or anything, but like I can accept them doing that because they've established him enough. Whereas in WWE, you've got a couple ladder matches that
you just get matches. There is no story. What story are we being told? Seriously.
I guess we're getting something with AJ and Nakamura.
Yeah, but that's the only story.
Yeah.
And it's a story that they give no agency because WWE always buries that story as a mid-card match, sort of, when they schedule it. They don't make it. I mean, the WWE champion has the weakest storyline and sense of agency that the company puts on it. It's probably the best that they got running, but the agency that they give you makes you seem like it's not. Like fucking Nia Jax and Ronda has more agency than this in WWE's mind.
That shit is terrible. Oh my god. I hope they have an amazing match, but
so much so that they are the cover art for Money in the Bank. That's the like, sir. Why are they the Why are they the feature?
Because they're gonna have the best match. They better have the best. Like after the fucking promos they've been putting out, they better have the best match. You need to do something, you know.
Yeah, you have to save it. You have to save it.
Oh my god, every bit of that is just awkward and fucking. I'm not being a hater. It's just like, oh my god. Because neither one of them is like super good on a microphone side.
No, they're not. Neither one. Like Nia is not really a talker.
As much as we, I guess, are thinking about her as like the one with the WWE experience.
Okay, I'm looking at it really quick before we end this with the wrestling shit. And you guys know you love us talking about these random things.
You like it better than that Trump shit. That shit is depressing all the way around, no matter how you look at it. All right, like I've tried to be as positive as possible, and it's still super depressing.
Yeah, you try to like bring us out the doldrums, and they can't because he makes the world hard. But no. So here's the card. You have the women's money. This is not in particular order, but the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, the men's ladder match. Then as far as like individual style matches, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing match. That's going to be ridiculous. They're going to do everything. Then you got Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Ronda, her second match is a title shot. So fucking dumb. Again, even Kurt Angle, who proved to end up being one of the greatest wrestlers of our generation, didn't get that rub coming straight from his sport. Not even Brock Lesnar. None of these people. All these like people who came from other arenas, they never got that fucking bump like that. And it's not that I have an issue with Ronda. It's just that no, why now?
I feel like somebody made the argument that like, you know, they paid a bunch of money to her, so they have to use her, and it's like you have to use her in a title match specifically.
No,
like, you can't give her storylines.
You can build her with pay-per-view matches if you want to. Yeah, make a story where she's beefing with somebody else, and they were like, "I'm gonna show you, Ronda, that you don't belong here." And boom, she starts knocking people off. You know, make her like her first or second match where she's just knocking off people in the women's roster, building herself up, and like you got Nia, but like, "Oh, I see you. You doing good things."
And that might
can't beat me.
Other people too. Like, I'm not necessarily throwing. I'm just throwing this out there as a thought. She like did some shit with Bayley because Bayley's never really seen as tough, so it's believable that Ronda could beat her, and it would give Bayley something to like, you know, light a fire under her ass.
Yeah.
Like, there's no extreme reason that I see to make this a title match so fast. Because if you really want to make your money back off this woman, why don't you use her to help make your other fucking women?
Yeah.
Just the thought.
And again, like I said, you can just randomly have her knock people off and then get a loss here and there, and like have that person like chide her for not being ready, and then like she builds up herself a couple of episodes later after they squabble, and then she conquers that one. Okay, she's transitioned past the next roadblock in her career. Like, build her up.
She would have a story to make her more engaging, which means you're getting more time and money out of her.
Yeah, because you can milk the whole like, see, you weren't even ready for like, you can make fun of like the Holly Holmes stuff. Like, ever since then, you just don't got it here either. You can make you could do that. Like, you could do a lot of things, but no, they just dumb. Anyway, Roman Reigns versus Jinder, I wouldn't, because I think she would sign off on that whole like poke fun of it, because I think she's past that like now.
She has been fun, but I remember she took it super hard before. But
yeah, at the moment. But I just
say, like, when you look at NXT, I just said, you know, the reason the matches are believable is because people actually go on like winning streaks before they get title matches. Like Lars Sullivan, you might not think of him as like the main eventer, but he wins matches.
Well, like the tag team match, these guys have been on fire.
Right, like there's momentum to carry them through. So even at times where like the story might be lacking, it still makes sense because the person going into the matches has enough momentum for it to make sense. Ronda has only had one match ever in her life.
Yeah. Well, technically no, because she's had dark matches, but on the stage, you don't count you generally don't count them. In the lore, quote unquote.
In the storyline universe of WWE, that shit does not count.
Unless never count, because if that was the case, then Undertaker returned way before he came back to face CM Punk and had the storyline with Paul, Heyman and things like in that way. You know what I mean? Like, he was seen in dark matches that had nothing to do with story. Like, we see dark matches with title changes and all that we don't know. Like, people have lost titles in dark matches, has got them back without us knowing. But mainline, we think, he still has a belt, because they just do it in 2 dark matches within a week. So dark matches don't count. Anyway, to continue to like slide on this card, sorta, Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. Why do we need to see Roman beat the shit out of Jinder again? I don't know. Although I will say this, it was kind of hilarious seeing Jinder Mahal just get us back to Roman. I don't know why that.
I didn't know that match was happening.
Yes, it's on the that match.
I noticed vaguely that they've been beefing, but like I just didn't think about it.
No, they have to have Roman on the pay-per-view. They can't have a pay-per-view without Roman, which again, you're making Roman into a worse position because you're giving him this shit match. Now, the caveat is this: if they make this a kickoff match, I would respect it, because
I respect it if they make it the main event. Because that is just some Vince not giving a fuck level type shit.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate. And like, I could care less what you think or how you feel. You're gonna take this. But then you got the Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson, which I don't know how that was a story. What did that build up to?
I don't remember how they
just randomly they beat the Usos to get the top contender spot.
That's what I'm saying. Jobbers, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, okay, sure. And then WWE, this whole we're gonna have a championship match because we did some contender shit on our show, and you just happen to win and be the contender, not because you're an on fire team that deserves this opportunity. You just randomly we just did a match that's akin to a coin toss, and you guess who won the coin toss? You did. Congratulations. All right. Whatever. Anyway, Seth Rollins versus Elias. That should be cool. It's something that could have been better, but the whole lead up to it, which is, again, you have no stories, but one of your stories that you have ain't the best story in the world. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's
Sammy's quest to expose Bobby Lashley.
Sammy is fast.
And I love Sammy. Dick Sammy is great.
Did you get that shit on Raw?
Huh?
That obstacle course shit on Raw?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my god. They set up this like, I don't know what it was, military style obstacle course or whatever. I don't know why. I guess because Sammy was all like, "Did you even serve in the military?" The week before. So like, the big black guy just dominates that course easy. And then Sammy just jumps him because why the fuck not? Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like,
but the thing that killed me was like there was like this rope climb thing, which was like the last part of it. After Sammy like knocks him down, he just like gets on the rope and swings across. I'm just like, what is this dude's problem?
Yeah, no, Dick Sammy is great, but the storyline is so dumb.
No, it's ass.
And then Daniel Bryan and Big Cass.
Again. Even though Daniel Bryan has dominated this too. But whatever.
I guess this is the moment where Cass gets his comeuppance.
Why should he even get the match? He lost pretty decisively. There was no controversy. He lost that match.
He gets to get, his revenge. I don't know.
It was a decisive ass beating.
Again, Vince, so that's who you want to push. You gonna like fucking Baron Corbin cast too? Cool. Feel free.
Baron Corbin got a haircut, which is
I feel like this is his signal. Like I've given up all hope.
I thought it was the highlight.
Oh yeah, the B team are supposed to fight the Hardy and Wyatt. That's probably going to be a pre-show match.
WWE has no serious tag teams.
No, that's not true. They do have serious tag teams. What they don't have is serious tag team storylines and matches.
Which one's serious, bro?
Huh?
Which one's serious?
The Revival.
The Revival?
The Usos, yeah, they're serious.
They're not serious, bro.
Yes, they are.
There are a couple of jokers that barely exist on TV. I meant to say jokers.
You know what I mean. But you know what I mean. Like, they are a serious tag team in the vein of what's a tag team that is a really good at this arena, in that arena, the tag team arena. They are.
They are the closest I would accept. Yes.
The Usos are, even with the pancakes, the New Day are. The Bludgeon Brothers are.
I don't accept the New Day. I don't.
You just don't like pancakes enough. That's your problem.
Men eat waffles. 1. 2. But I mean, like, not just like
pancakes are better than waffles. I'm sorry.
Serious in the sense of like not being jobbers or whatever. Like most of the tag teams are on some level a comedy act. Yeah, no,
they do a lot of comedy spots within
even the ones that aren't really meant to be funny, they get stuck.
No, I agree. The way they treat the Revival, like the Revival are the butt of the joke because they're the business-like tag team, but the goofy tag teams make fun of them for taking their job so serious.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I say I don't take them as like a serious tag team because they're getting roped into everybody else's bullshit too.
Yeah. They're serious if you want to be honest. There are a lot of serious ones, but the way they frame them.
That's what really fucked up Gallows and Anderson because they came in, they were like these assassins from Japan or something.
And then they started with the lab coats and the bullshit. Although they can do that stuff too.
No, they're not.
They shouldn't have. They should have just been Gallows and Anderson.
I blame New Day for that shit.
Huh?
I blame New Day for that shit.
I guess.
New Day they were feuding with when they started doing
when they started doing that.
And the thing about New Day is they never take anything fucking seriously.
I still love
them. And so they drag everybody else into their shit. And it's hard for a team to survive that. Usos survived that because they're the fucking Usos.
But no, because the Usos take themselves, even during the whole thing, they took that shit serious. Because the Usos, to their credit, since they made that heel turn and now have become what they are a lot more appealing because, they're like, we are the best. The Uso penitentiary thing, it's legit because they're taking themselves as tag team champs or wanting to be champs serious, and that's all you have to do with the tag team division. Just take the hunt serious for the belt, and it'll be fine.
Have more real teams. I'm not trying to be a dick to Breezango or the B team or what the fuck they call the Wasteland, whatever they are. Those dudes with like the face paint. That used to be a big deal. Victor and
the Ascension.
The Ascension, yes. Who used to be like a big deal in NXT are now a joke.
Yeah, they're jokes. Like these two dudes were dominating and kicking ass in NXT, and they come up now and they're at best the spot gag for the Fashion Police.
Yeah.
Which again, from a talent perspective, is a legit serious tag team.
I mean, yeah, they have positive things about them. I just want it. When I look at NXT's tag team division, like even the ones that are more jokey are far more serious than the main roster. Like Heavy Machinery. Those dudes are largely jokey, but you can take them seriously when it's time to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Like when it's time to stop fucking around, they stop fucking around and they fight. I cannot make that argument for most of the teams on the main roster. And that's depressing. Because you just mentioned a match between some jobbers. I honestly don't remember who you said. And Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Imagine you're calling them some jobbers. Is when tag team, when speaking from a fan of wrestling wise, they are actually the best working tag team. That's the funny part. But they get treated so bad. The Revival.
I'm talking about the B team.
Oh, you talking about the B team? Oh, yeah.
The one's going for the title. I mean, yes,
the B team versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Listen to that match.
Yeah, I know. I know. Much as I love Matt and all that, it's like, yeah, no.
For the tag team titles, bro. Oh my god. There's
rumors that there may be a Andrade Almas versus Sin Cara. Why would you do that to Almas? Oh my god. Really?
He's done.
This is what you want to do with this man? This man is gold.
He's done. Selena Vega will be gone in a couple months. He's done.
Fucking Vince. I hate him. Anyway, that's going to do it for our podcast. We hope you enjoyed being front-ended by games to be brought up, then being in the middle, being brought to a insane point with the Trump news, and then be lifted up again, sorta, with the wrestling until we realize that Vince once again just ruins wrestlers and ruins wrestling. But it was good before then. Any closing thoughts on anything, sir, before we go? By the way, did you ever beat your raid?
Yes, and I found out why I couldn't see anybody. It was because I died at some point and they all left. So I had to catch up with them.
That's hilarious.
That's how distracted I was because I cared more about the podcast. Because I guess I wasn't looking.
You're all about your business. That's good. Yes. But I'm glad you won it.
And on a more positive note, though, because we're talking about wrestling, I actually sent this video to a friend. You guys should go watch. You probably already seen it, but go watch Kota Ibushi versus Yoshihiko in New Japan. It is a match with like a blow-up doll, and that match is fucking amazing. He has like a full half-hour match with a blow-up doll, and it's actually a really good match.
Are you serious? Why did he do that? That's retarded.
Have you never seen that match?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it.
Bro, that match is...
And I kind of don't want it because it's like... I'm sure there's some entertainment value, but I need stuff like that to stop.
It's a good... Well, first of all, it's old, so it's not like it just happened.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it. I've heard of it plenty of times, and I've refused to watch it because I was like, I don't really think that's what I want to see.
You do, bro. You need to see this.
Yeah, no, I don't like the just way over the top comedy stuff. I like funny stuff in wrestling as long as it's within the framework. I'm kind of on Jim Cornette's side where y'all don't need to be doing some of the shit that y'all be doing. And this is what
I would say that like the match had its comedic moments, but like he makes it feel like a real match.
And that's the thing that makes it. That's the thing that it bothers me because I do agree. Like, while it's entertaining, it also can be taken from the frame of this is why wrestling shouldn't be taken serious because it's so easy. I can put on a 5-star match with a blow up doll, and so anybody can do this shows you anybody can do this moment type of thing.
I don't agree. I feel like it showed how good Coda is because I don't think
clearly though anybody can do it because a blow up doll just put on a 5-star match.
No, Coda put on a 5-star match with a blow up doll. Okay, so if you see,
I get what you're saying.
Name a bunch of people.
I get what you're saying, but the argument can be said that an inanimate object helped produce a fucking 5-star match.
I remember one of the comment videos on YouTube once. No, it was that match that Kenny Omega did with that 9-year-old girl. Somebody was like, she's a better worker than Roman Reigns.
But like even that, I could say at least you got a child that actually has been trained to do this. So
she was not trained for that long. She was trained very, very briefly.
She was trained enough to pull the moves off that she did.
Omega was doing it for her. What are you talking about?
Huh? I'm just saying she was trained enough to go with it. People kind of and I've heard this said by older people. A lot of the stuff like if you're not good at going with it, it can make it bad too.
I'm not saying she should get no credit, but like
I'm not saying she should get elevated. But it's like at least you have the participant who was at least kind of sort of indoctrined in the thing to where because it's not like she was a Nicholas. Put it that way.
No, but like I don't see her as being much more.
I'm not saying that she's like on her way to being the next.
No, but I'm saying like she's essentially the same as the blow up doll. Was my point. She's not really working that match like that. She's just Omega is just that good, and he can pull that match out of a stick if he wanted to.
Yeah, and no, I don't appreciate that match either. I just think it's all just nah.
I mean, she sold better, but
yeah, no, it's just like, what is the purpose of like that paycheck? Must have been really good to do that because I wouldn't. Again, I'm of the thing that I'm in that thing where I'm more with the old school only because it should be done more seriously than it is now. At the same time, I don't need it to be. I don't need to be put back in the place where we dismiss the fact that we know it's fake. I embrace that it's fake. I just need them to embrace the idea that you can treat this fake thing as if it was reality. Just like they do in Hollywood movies. That's all I ask. Is to give it the movie treatment.
But the biggest movies now are like Marvel movies, and they do that joke shit
but
all
again,
the time.
Huh?
And they're pulling out like wildly inappropriate jokes all the time.
No, it's not the jokes, but they're not like making a comedy or a mockery of their genre.
So when Star-Lord dances at the end of the first Guardians movie, that's not making a mockery of that entire movie.
No, because that's their tone. That's the tone of their universe. So no. Like, tone is everything. The tone of wrestling is you're in a competitive sport for the glory. And wrestling has lost its tone. Like, again,
I've seen some horrendous
like, because remember, I like the New Day, so I'm not one of these people who's like you have to be totally devoid of stuff. But as long as it's within the framework, like the New Day are going out and they're making fun of their opponents and mocking people and having fun while doing it. But in the ring, they do their thing.
So I will say it might be a slight to the New Day, but I'll say I took that match with the doll more serious than a lot of New Day matches.
That is a very big slight to the New Day.
I'm sorry, but he took it more serious than New Day takes most of their matches, most of the time.
Because he had a face, his face made it seem serious. It's.
I mean, he was pulling out like Canadian, like he had the doll give him a Canadianness. Like he took it. I mean, like there were moments where the comedy had to be there, but like.
No, it was a whole comic act. It was a whole comic act. The fact that was the joke. This man is seriously wrestling a thing, and it was all.
You watch that crowd. Like,
whereas again, the New Day do their shenanigans outside, but inside the ring and during the match, it's pretty much they are trying to win. They're not just there to just like ha 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 during the match. No, they want to win. They want They want to win the ring. So that's where I like
Like when I sent that video to my friend there, I was like. It's interesting as he builds through the match. Like, you start off like this is a blow doll, what the fuck, and then because the match is wrestled in such a realistic way, it just kind of what's that phrase people always use, like suspension of disbelief. I'm not saying he suspends it completely, but like he takes it seriously.
I get why people are impressed because again, like it takes skill to do that. So it's an impressive feat of his.
I mean, like when you look at the fans, for example,
skill,
match, but like none of them believe it at first, and then okay, maybe this is going too far, but it reminds me a little bit of like how I felt I watched Mark Henry's Hall of Fame thing. Like, I know this is full of shit, but he pulls me into it anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like that's cool, but at the same time, for this, it's like it's all a big joke at the end. Like, yeah, you show skill, talent, good for you, but you just did something horrendous, like unnecessary. But again, it wasn't.
I appreciate it more than the pancake thing. I'll say that.
But I will say this to like kind of, especially this and the Kenny Omega thing is like they were for a particular place and time where that's what these people paid to come see. It was not done as a part of a New Japan event.
No, sure. It was.
It was just some side independent shit that they did for a paycheck on the side. And it's like, yeah. But I don't need that to be mainstreamed. No.
I certainly wouldn't argue it either. I appreciate it for the context. I certainly would not have like if Omega had done that the other day with Okada in that match, I would be upset. Like for its own self-contained thing, it's a fun thing to watch. And I like the New Day, but I will say I'm far more offended by most of the things they do in a match than I was by that match with Ibushi. Maybe that is my increasing disdain for the New Day. But the way New Day acts on a regular basis, I find way more offending to taking this stuff seriously than Ibushi's match with that doll. Maybe that just shows how much I like that match.
Clearly, you don't know the power of positivity.
Nope. No. I'm cool with the New Day on some level, but they do it way too much and way too far for my taste. Like I'm far less offended by Ibushi's one match with a doll than I am with New Day's existence as a team over the last few years.
Something's wrong with you.
I'm sorry. I can let one match slide way more than I was being serious when I said I blame New Day shenanigans for the way, at least in part, for the way Gallows and Anderson got treated, because they were roped into New Day's bullshit. But that's just me. Anyway, the rest of you guys who were
I find it funny that you're blaming New Day for that when it wasn't them, but I understand.
But TV wise, I found it hard to take Gallows and Anderson seriously when I was watching New Day, not taking them seriously at all. And I get it, they're making fun of their opponents and blah, but it's like on some level you have to like act like you're dealing with serious people. It reminds me of like when Roman was like bigger and feuding with people, and like Sheamus came back at one point. He was like supposed to be a big deal, and then Roman just kind of like laughed at him and was like, "Yeah, you're right. Why are we taking Sheamus seriously? Never mind."
Okay, whatever.
And then he came back with that awesome haircut.
Don't wrestle dolls, people. Don't don't repeat this.
The rest of you watched that match. I sent it to somebody who hasn't watched that much wrestling and they thought it was amazing. I'm just saying. I say hasn't watched that, I mean like they've only watched like more old school shit. They haven't watched like New Day.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to be sort of a curmudgeon on this.
Oh.
Anyway. Thank you guys for watching. You're not gonna sell me on this, so you might as well stop.
I'm open to at least break your love of the New Day. That's all I want. I don't want to make you happy. I just want to like break everything you care about.
No, you're not gonna do that because I'm actually getting ready to go look up, down to see if he's done any E3 stuff. So,
of course he did. I'm pretty sure I YouTubed E3 a bit ago, and his face was like the fourth thing on that list.
Let's see. There you go.
I like all of them outside of their gimmick. But
funny thing is, their gimmick is them being themselves. That's the hilarious part about it.
Them, I don't want them to be themselves in the ring on a regular basis. The same way I don't want. I don't know who Robert Downey Jr. is in real life, but I want him to be Iron Man in the movie.
But the funny thing is, Robert Downey Jr. is just being Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Wasn't a good example because I don't know him. But
no, you need to look at. I mean, because a lot of people make the argument, which, yeah, it's true. Watch Sherlock Holmes. Have you ever seen Sherlock Holmes?
No, that's what I mean. Like,
watch Sherlock Holmes, and you'll realize, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is actually like basically. You can make an argument that Tony Stark was actually inspired by Robert Downey Jr. before he was born. Because that's him. That's why when they announced him as Tony Stark, I knew that was perfect match in heaven because I was like, yeah, he is our living Tony Stark. we just didn't realize it until he put on the suit. But yeah, he's a real life Tony Stark. So yeah.
Anyway, we should close this shit off.
Yeah, let's close it off because we rambled on a tangent. And I need to find some food. It's 10:30 at night. Anyway, thank you again. Appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next time, next week, as this is next to the last podcast for this week, unless Katina wants to do her podcast, and then I'm going to have to like suck up and do it because I'm tired. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. All the love. We see you next time on the Reason Reborn.